Tonight, Ant-Man and the Timberwolves look to advance the conference finals for back-to-back seasons as they take on the Warriors at home. If Golden State has any chance of winning tonight, they'll have to do it without Steph Curry, as he's still sidelined from a hamstring injury. It's been 3 years since Curry's last title. He's 37 years old, Dog. Tell me this. Do you feel like Steph has won his last championship?
I think you'd probably say yes. You'd have to say that. 37's older. I'm not sure about their salary cap implications. Those teams in the Western Conference are tricky. Houston's going to be good. Obviously, we know about Oklahoma City. Minnesota's got their best players 23 years of age. I mean, it gets harder, not easier, the older that you get. They had a little chance this year, but his injury hurt them in this series against Minnesota. I think, to be fair, you'd probably say that his chance to get a fifth ring is over with as far as the Warriors go. Yeah, I got to agree with you on that, Dougie. Father Time is undefeated. He's 37. Draymond's 35. Jimmy's soon to be 36. And no fault of Steph. It's nothing he did wrong. But you look at this team, and since they won, they went 10th, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. They were 10th. This year, they were 10th again. The Jimmy trade moved them up to 7th. Got a little bit of life, got a little bit of excitement. But overall, since they won that championship, it's been a decline for them. And this is no fault of Steph. He's been a great player. He's done a great job. But it's just time to move on, and I don't think they'll get another one in his team.
I don't think so either. So it's a trifecta there, but I'm going to bring up different reasons than y'all brought up. It's not because of Steph at all. Steph is still playing like an all-world player when he's on the court. The brother's spectacular. I think the second we really, really knew in our hearts this was it, was when they didn't get Kevin Durant to come back. Remember, they were interested in acquiring Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant made it clear he didn't want to go back. And because he didn't want to go back, Jimmy Butler was the consolation prize. We're looking at Jimmy Butler. We know what he can do, but Jimmy Butler has no problem being Robin. But can you be Batman anymore? The answer is likely no. And then you look at Draymond Green. Draymond Green was my defensive player of the year. Draymond Green is getting outplayed by Julius Randle in this series. He is getting outplayed by Julius Randle in this series. If you're getting outplayed by Julius Randle, who could play? Julius Randle's no scrub now. He's an all-star caliber player. But if you're getting outplayed by Julius Randle and you got a guy in Jimmy Butler climbing up there in age and showing you that although he's still gifted, on a night-in, night-out basis, he can't possibly be what he used to be because Father Time has creeped up on him as well, then what choice do you have but to concede that this is it for the Golden State Warriors unless you can go out there and acquire additional talent? And you haven't proven that you could really, really do that to the level needed to supplant young Lions like OKC, like a Minnesota. Dallas will be back next year. Houston is in the mix. San Antonio may pull something to elevate themselves. There's too much resistance in the Western Conference for Golden State to overcome. I think we've seen the last of Steph Curry as a champion in Golden State. I'm with you. Good job on San Antonio for that.
I can't argue that. And like you said, the West is only going to get better, only going to get stronger. Golden State, they're going to fall behind, but the OKCs, the SGAs, and those guys, they're going to continue to grow.
Want me to tell you who deserves more props than almost anybody, and we never, ever, ever mention him, even though he's a hell of a player? We need to give a lot of props to De'Aaron Fox, forcing his way out of Sacramento, insisting on being in San Antonio. And it wasn't just to be a teammate with Victor Wembanyama. You look at Castle, he's a rookie of the year. You have back-to-back rookies of the year. Now they got the 2nd and the 14th pick in the upcoming NBA draft, and they've got maneuverability to go out there and even potentially acquire a Giannis. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, we ain't mentioned him. That's a brilliant move on his part. All right, because Sacramento's on a fast track to nowhere. Ain't nobody thinking about that.
In clutch for a reason. His team, the Knicks, are the comeback kings. They have put together 3 of the most improbable wins in playoff history. And so I'm going to give you 3 stats to show just how unlikely their 3 wins are. Let's start with this one. The Knicks are the first team in NBA history to trail by 9 points or more at halftime in each of the first 4 games of a playoff series. I don't mean of teams that wound up winning. I don't mean of teams that were ahead. I mean, literally, no team has ever been down by more than 9 points at the half of 4 consecutive games to start a series. The Knicks have done that, and they're up 3 games to 1. Here's the second one. We trace these dates back to 1988. That's when the stats begin. So the Knicks are the second team with 3 wins after trailing by 14 or more points in any playoff series. The only other team to do it were the 2019 Warriors, who did it in the Western Conference Finals. That's Steph Curry and company and Jalen Brunson and company. And then finally, there have been 4 games played in this series. The Knicks have led for a total of 25 minutes. That is by a wide margin the least amount of time led by any team that has a lead in a playoff series through 4 games. Now they are incredibly on the brink of their first conference final appearance in 25 years. And as you see, they have done it in the least probable fashion. Bring my guys in here and let's get into this. You know, there's an expression that I've been using since back in the days on the radio. Sometimes you don't find the year finds you. Like these are not things that are supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be losing all these games. They've been leading for 25 minutes. They've played 4 games and one of them went to overtime, for crying out loud. So that's whatever it is, 90s. I can't even do the math in my head. They're never ahead in this series and they're winning 3 games to 1. What does that say about these Knicks?
That's why I said this has a magical March Madness-like feel towards it.
Right.
And obviously, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, these guys have been able to win a championship with, you know, Chris Jenkins, one of the biggest shots in college basketball history that's still on NCAA commercials, right? This has that same run feel towards it, and it has that same magic, UD.
I mean, it says to me that they're a connected group of guys. It's a connected locker room. They believe in one another. And also, this is the most battle-tested team in the playoffs that we've seen. Detroit series, everything they went through during the season, Brunson being hurt towards the end, being 0-10 against the top teams, all that has built this team up to be confident in these situations, and they believe in one another.
Yeah, so, Winman, what are we seeing? You said earlier today, and I don't know why anyone would criticize this, that this series is not over. The Celtics are champions. They still have a ton of great players. But the Knicks have done things that, candidly, the statistics suggest you're not supposed to do, and they're doing things I didn't think they were capable of. What are you seeing from this group of Knicks?
Well, they're 5-0 on the road in the playoffs, and all 5 wins are by 3 points or less. That right there would be incredible in, February, much less in, April and May. And they also have seen, in this conference, the Cavs are out. Jason Tatum is now out. They are being presented with an opportunity here. You could have great teams that are favored in series and things don't go your way. They have had a little bit of fortune, and they have stormed through the door. They have taken advantage of weakness. There was a few moments in the Pistons series where their inexperience showed up. The Knicks grabbed the opportunity by the throat. In this series, the Celtics were shaky. They were especially shaky in these fourth quarters. Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges have grabbed it by the throat. You have to give the Knicks credit for being incredibly mentally strong. I would say that's almost the most impressive thing about them is their mental strength. When they get down by 20, they don't freak out. When they get in clutch situations, they don't freak out. When Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, they don't freak out. They handle their business. I think it's an outgrowth of Brunson. I think it's an outgrowth of Thibodeau, and it's an outgrowth of the confidence this team is developing day by day.
It's worth putting up the full screen, Cindy, and showing the New York Knicks are now odds-on favorites to win the Eastern Conference. I'm not sure the last time those words were spoken aloud. I mean, also, I think it is possible that when those words were last spoken aloud, I was 6 years old. Yeah.
Wow. I think it's something for every media